Yes, another doctor. Yes, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, Dr. Rita. How are you?
All matchy. I didn't get
I know, right? What's up with that? It's this
I don't
thing.
know.
Woo! So, how are you? How's your house going?
It's doing good. I have 1.5 rooms left to go, and then final paint and flooring and putting in shelves and closets and
Are
stuff.
you doing the work yourself or no?
I'm doing all the finish work myself.
Excellent. That's awesome. That's what my brother was. He was a Finnish carpenter, and but then he got arthritis, and he couldn't do anything with his hands. But so he kind of directed other people to do it. But I mean, he did this entire restaurant, the interior, the finished design, the entire wood trim of this entire restaurant.
Wow.
I have an overhead light in my kitchen, which he made for us, and he did our entire kitchen cabinetry and everything. It's fantastic. He's no longer with us, unfortunately. He passed away back in 2018, but he was very young, only in his 50s.
Wow.
But
That's very sad.
he didn't take good care of himself, unfortunately. But we're going to talk about how you can take better care of yourself today, and I believe you have an interesting topic, which Penny says you're going to be addressing today. So
Yes.
Penny, take it away.
We're actually going to talk a little bit about world events and the Mockingbird media, which is gaslighting the F out of all of us.
So, I mean, I don't know, like a month or so ago, we had talked about gaslighting, and we just had kind of a general conversation about it. But there's a lot of events that have happened that really needed to be revisited because the media has been so gaslighting everybody, which I find it amazing. But before we kind of get into some details, I just want to explain, what that phenomena is. So gaslighting is basically when somebody lies to you to control and manipulate you. And usually it's they lie to you and then they make you feel bad or make you
Right.
feel or make you feel less than. And so that's what a person does. So I can gaslight you, Penny, or I can gaslight you, David. And then our experience is we can have cognitive dissonance where we're just sitting there listening to what the person says and our brain is going, but that doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
And, to me, it became very apparent during the whole COVID era, but it hasn't stopped. And it just seems like it's worse in a different way when you put the news on or any, I'll say, mainstream media outlet, even though they're not lying. Just
Right.
they're not lying.
It seems to me like that and I don't want to blame it on one party because all parties have, they're part of the BFLC, which is the Big Fat Liars Club. But I'm finding more vitreous information coming from what I deem the weaponized Mockingbird media, which is a propagandist arm for those that are in control of our nation right now. And we're finding that the lies are epic. And not just like the lies that were being told today, but the lies, it seems like the liars are in office.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, they definitely are. And, there's what's going on with the people in office, but then there's what's going on with the media that just take whatever and just expound on it. I just listened to an interview, and I don't remember the senator's name, but he was on with Tucker Carlson, and he was talking about Joe Biden. So this is the Mockingbird media.
Yeah.
Yes.
Joe's great. He's cognizant. He's got everything
Right.
going on, and then he falls down the stairs, or you can't understand anything he says, or
Or gets into the wrong plane.
never hear
Yeah.
that one.
I wonder what's going on with that.
Or makes a statement and then says pause, and then goes on. And
End quote. He says end quote.
Because for a fact, Dr. Rita, that Kamala knew that he was diminished. Also, I think Ben Carson spoke a little bit regarding who Kamala really is. And so we're seeing a face on one person, which the face presents itself as being congenial, laughing, a liberal that loves everyone, when in fact the diatribe that she's saying about the today, tomorrow, that isn't actually very funny because it's Marxist propaganda. It's straight out of a Marxist propaganda speech.
I mean, she's an interesting character. I remember watching the Kavanaugh hearings where they were nominated him for Supreme Court. And every time she spoke, it was with vitriol and venom. And she would ask him questions that were unanswerable with a yes or no answer. And she wouldn't let him explain anything and wouldn't provide him with enough detail. Well, someone said you said this. It's like, well, who said it? Because, maybe we were sitting at my house drinking beers and it was just some smart comment that I made.
Right.
But she wouldn't tell him who it was. So it's like, okay. And she came off, all right, she did appear, and I'm going to air quote that, as being competent, but she just seemed meaner than hell. Just mean. And when I heard she was running for president, I was like back in 2020, I was kind of shocked. It's like, who would want someone that mean being the president of the United States?
Oh, well, not just that mean, but I mean, her track record in which she's saying, I've done these magnanimous things, the track record that she has that they're putting forth is that the Democrats are putting forth is essentially non-existent. The reality here's my question. The reality that we're being told is not the reality. Okay, what we're being told and groomed, so to speak, into believing is that this is a very favorable regime right now. So Camilla should step in for Biden. We know that they've known for years that this man was having issues with his memory.
Mm-hmm.
I've known this for years. It wasn't just, he fell down, bumped his head, couldn't get up in the morning like that old nursery rhyme. He's had these cognitive issues for years. He also has been a serial liar. He's been outed by comedians throughout decades as being an individual that you can't understand and a serial liar and also a racist. But yet they're spinning a tale that this man, now that he's stepped away, he's a hero. Everyone's touting him as a hero. We'll just push him away, knock him down the stairs.
Face on Mount Vernon or
right, exactly. Mount Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore.
Pelosi's saying, yes.
I just got back from there.
He's historic. He should be on. Why should he be on? Did he write the Declaration of Independence?
But
you don't want to put him on Mount Mushroom.
Right.
But the part that was interesting as far as the media was concerned is Joe is great. Joe is great. Joe is great. Great. No issue. And then the debate happened and there was a 180-degree turnaround. And it's like, he didn't do anything abnormal of what he's done hundreds of times before that you've aired. And it's just, you just watch it and go, well, when did that happen? Did something happen to him at 11 o'clock last night?
Right.
It went from like, he's great to not.
It's got to be between 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
It's good, right. And then, and all of a sudden he can't, be out after 8 p.m. like he's a 7-year-old.
But they did the same thing with Kamala, whatever.
I know, her name's hard to say. Just say Harris.
Yeah. And I love the clips about, oh, well, she's going to be the border czar. Camila's the border czar. She's the border czar. She's going to take care of the border because she's the border czar. And then she gets put into the place of running for president. And it's like, she was never the border czar.
I
Who said
know.
the
No.
borders are?
He's like,
Well,
what?
no, it's like,
Actually, there was a
You have
it was a
video.
misunderstanding. What they actually said was she is the bizarre whore, not the borders are.
Yeah.
and the part that gets me the most is, okay, so if you have any kind of memory retention at all, and you watch MSDNC or ABC or CNN, and they were saying that she was the border czar, and now they're saying, we never said
We
that.
don't know what you're talking about.
Like, how can you sit there and watch that and go, but you did? Or is my memory, see, this is the cognitive
Right.
dissonance.
Then they want you to think that your memory is effed up because they never said that.
Because they never said it. You know, even though, you know, you listen to alternative media and they have like this announcer saying she's the border czar, and then it's like, she wasn't the border czar. It's like,
It's actually, I think it's actually in like a congressional paper.
that she was the border czar?
Yes. They've
Right,
tried to, here's another thing. So if you're a regular gaslighter, right, you might not have video clips of you saying this stuff. Okay. You might not have anything written on a piece of paper. And that's what they love, right? Because when you're in a relationship and you're being gaslit, you don't have a recording. You don't have, although many more people are videotaping their, exchanges with one another. Like, really, you didn't say that? Because this is from 5 years ago. I saved it on my cloud. I'm pretty sure that's what you said. Because here's you saying it. Okay.
Ask Kamala.
Right? Oh yes, ask Kamala what the cloud is. Oh, it's up there somewhere. Oh my God.
Well, you know, but the gods are protecting your data
Yes.
from being hacked because it's up there with the gods in the clouds. That made me laugh so hard. It was like, okay,
that's the other thing. Is there something to? We'll address the gaslighting aspect, but is there something to being spoken to like you're a 5-year-old Crayola style and you have no capacity to research or speak when you have a representative speaking to you thusly? Is that a form of gaslighting to try to make you feel like, wow, I'm just totally ignorant?
No, I think that's more of a form of narcissism where I am so smart and you are so stupid that I have to talk down to you because you will never understand these complicated topics that I'm going to explain to you.
If you've heard her speech pentameter, there are days when I say, is this girl like drunk? I don't want to diminish her character because that's what we do anyway. But do you think she might have a drinking problem or a speech impediment or something?
I don't know about a speech impediment, and I haven't watched her speak a whole lot because usually I just turn it off because
right, same here.
What I did watch, so when Netanyahu was here, and I'm sorry, her boycotting his presentation, I thought was a giant slap directly from the United States. I thought that was the most insulting.
Yes, she's a VP actually sitting in for the P, and she is running for the P, but yet she disses Netanyahu. Yeah. And nobody showed up for his plane either, which that was weird a little bit.
Right. I heard that too, and I'm like, that is the most you don't have to like the guy. If you have Xi Jinping come in, you might not like him or Putin, but I'm sorry. There's
but you should still serve him Chinese food. Takeout. It's easy. It's fast.
Right. Did you see the video of? Did you send me that? The video of Biden ordering Chinese food?
No, I did not.
Oh, I'm gonna put that up in a few minutes. Keep talking. You're gonna love this one.
Have Biden saying, "I think I'm turning Japanese. I really think so."
But what I thought was interesting was, she had her meeting with him after, and then she came out and did a little press conference thing, and she came out and just started talking mean. And she didn't say, hi, thanks for coming, or, you know, I just got done with this meeting. I mean, there was not any personable characteristic of, this is my first press conference, you know,
Right.
nothing.
Well, she's not actually speaking to anything of substantiation when she speaks. And she kicked the press out within 17 seconds when she met with him. This press was like, all right, everybody, out. Take a picture. You're out.
Yeah. Shocking.
Now, what were your thoughts about when the plane landed to bring in Waylon and the other individuals? That actually Waylon is a spy, so that we have that on very good authority from George Webb, who's an investigative journalist, superb, who's been researching the Shiite out of everything. He's all
Thank God for George Webb. Thank God for that
the world
guy.
is George. You know, he's always he posted a video the other day of like when he covered Waylon being arrested in 2018, and but I looked at it first and it was snowing, and I'm like, where are you, George? Because I thought it might be current. You know? Where in the world is George today? But so what were your thoughts about it? I don't know if you watch it or not, about Camilla taking over the realm and saying nothing again, taking over the helm, and then Biden turning around and going onto the plane. Now, here's what they said afterwards, because the whole world was like, what the H? That's not Air Force One. Where are you going? And he went on there, and they said later that he went on to thank the pilots. Now, I think maybe something else. Like, why was he on there? Was he looking for a Coke for Hunter? Was he looking for a note?
Little bags of pretzels.
Right. Something. He needed his hands washed. He needed to go pee. I don't know.
I mean, I didn't even hear about that. So I don't have commentary. I'm going to have to look that up.
Okay. Yeah. It was a very interesting, which it befuddled the entire nation going because they know his history.
Here's Biden ordering Chinese. You ready for this?
And Joan Shingang, I'm going to pronounce right, Shanga Kawawa.
And then they brought him a roll of toilet paper and Windex or something. I don't know.
And he was, and when, you know, I'm waiting for the shot of him coming out of the toilet with the toilet paper around his feet.
Yeah.
But can we talk for a little bit, because I'm looking at the clock and I know we only have finite time.
Let's do it.
About the Olympic boxer that I don't know her name, that, you know, is intersection.
Yes, please comment on
that. I find it very interesting that, all right, I'm going to back this up. You know, obviously, all right, to me, there are two sexes. There are men and women, you know, and there are genetic abnormalities that happen in species that can affect someone's sexual expression. And actually, I looked it up, and 1 in 15,000 can have all right, this is the word I'm going to use, and I'm going to say it out loud. They're hermaphrodites.
Yes.
You know, and no one will say that word, you know, and so you can have more of one, you know, you can have female characteristics and have male characteristics at the same time, or you could just physically show female characteristics or just physically show male characteristics, but not necessarily have that genetic chromosomal thing. You know, when this whole thing happened, there was I like House, that series House.
Oh yeah, I do too.
And there was an episode where this girl was a model and he kept talking about her breasts and how perfect they were and blah, blah, blah. And whatever, it was House. And, and so, you know, it's going on and on and on. And they finally figure out what's wrong with her. And she had testicular cancer.
Oh.
And so, but see, and with the boxer, that's what happened, is that he was externally expressing as a woman, But when he hit puberty in particular, it doesn't look like, I mean, it doesn't look like he has any breasts. So the secondary characteristics never came to the surface. And so like that girl who secondary sex characteristics produced, she still had testicles and she still could have sex because she had both and ended up having cancer.
Wow, that's nuts.
Particular cancer. But that's just how some people are made, but it doesn't take away from the fact that genetically speaking, that boxer is a male. Even though from a societal point of view, you know, he was brought up as a female. So, you know, I was kind of doing a little research, and I'm just going to read the beginning of this article because we're talking gaslighting, and I was like, oh my God, this is like gaslighting to the max. And it says, gender is a subjective to each person, and sex organs don't dictate gender. People with penises aren't necessarily men, and people with vaginas aren't necessarily women. The thing is, XX and the XY's chromosomes aren't cut and dry either. Actually, sex chromosomes and genetic expression are widely varied, you know, but they're sitting there talking about that if you are culturally brought up as a woman, then you're a woman, even if your chromosomes beg to differ with you. And it's like, okay, but no.
Well, it's like when somebody says, you know, you want to know what your gender is? Pull down your pants, look down, you're welcome.
Right.
That's it. You know.
Why, Dr. Rita, do you think that our society has become so confused about gender? I know there's a ready answer for it.
Well, I don't think they're confused. They're making a very distinct choice to muddy the waters about what's going on. You know, what the purpose is doesn't make any sense. You know, and I think that, all right, I'll just say, if you ask the average American, you know, if somebody wanted to be transgendered, do they really care? Probably not. You know, if some dude wants to walk around in women's clothing and have surgery, okay. But it's like, but they're forcing it, you know, they're trying to force it on people. And the whole thing of, you know, giving young kids hormones and counseling them that, you know, they might be transgendered and, you know, maybe they should have surgery done. And, you know, you hear a lot of stories about, you know, I've seen more about young women who now they're in their 20s and they're like, what the heck did I just do?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, the new VP is for transgender. I have like a 1-minute video I'd like to bring in and have you take a look at it. It's a 6-year-old that they're saying is
in that
trans.
sea of people, apparent, transparent about his family.
My partner Gretchen and I are here today because we are parents of a trans child.
Their child is 6 years old, and she was as excited to be at a boring capital on spring break as any 6-year-old kid could be. Squirming and fidgeting her way through speeches, hardly aware her existence as why her parents drove 5 hours today to speak publicly.
It's 100% personal. I mean, the safety, the happiness of our child is it couldn't be
She's
more
6.
personal.
Asher, why are we here today?
For trans rights.
For her rights to be her.
As you can see from this interview, I can't force my kids to do anything here. Asher has trusted us enough. She believes in our love enough that she has invited us in to see her whole self. And if we don't love her that much, the opposite would happen, where we wouldn't get to know everything about her. And so we're lucky, we're blessed, and we love her.
So much they came to the People's House this morning to talk about her, the person, in a room reserved for talks about politics.
And there's
Sounds
nothing
like
in
Camilla
this world that I
talking.
wouldn't do. like Gretchen and I wouldn't do to protect her and others like her.
Okay, so
Oh,
she's
God.
6, Dr. Rita.
I wanted to be an Olympic gymnast when I was 13. Period.
Yeah, yeah.
I can understand, in a weird way that if the kid wants to dress in girls' clothes, whatever, but they're promoting it. They are programming this child to want to be that way. I mean, I was a tomboy growing up. I climbed fences. I played baseball. I didn't play with dolls. I just wasn't interested. But I, and what some people don't understand is, like, if you're a male and you have the surgery done, you have to sit there and maintain that forever. And I mean, I won't go into the graphic details of it, but it just doesn't sound like it's necessarily pleasant. And I've heard that it's very uncomfortable and you're more apt to getting infections. I mean, there's this whole litany of health related stuff tied up. And if you're a woman and you transition fully into being a guy, what they attach to you is like, here's like a potato or a carrot and it's just like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that don't look like nothing, but something
Right.
just like Frankenstein.
A non-functional flap of skin. Unfortunately, we're running out of time, but this was a
This is a great half
fantastic
hour.
discussion.
We'll have
And
to pick this up again because you know what? With this clown that's going to be Kamala's VP, who is Kamala's VP pick, there's going to be a lot of background check on what he want, and he supported this. That was him in that video, right?
Yes,
Sending it to the
yes,
family.
yeah,
So
that was Walsh. So, Dr. Rita, where can people find you? And where's your YouTube channel? Where can they find you? And how can they purchase your books?
Sure. So my webpage is soulhealer.com. That's soulhealer.com. All of my books are available on my webpage, which always come autographed, or you can get them at any bookseller, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, et cetera, et cetera. Most of them are available in print and in ebook, which is very convenient. On Thursday nights, I do a live stream called Thursday Night Live with Dr. Rita Louise, which is me. And I cover a topic for about 15 minutes. And then I open up the lines where people can get free on-air psychic readings from me. It's really a lot of fun. There's a whole group of people that come every week, and it's crazy. And you get to hang out with me. And if you want to interact and get a reading, which means I need to know you want a reading, the best place for people to go is my YouTube channel, which is Just Energy Radio. So that's 3 words, Just Energy Radio. And click Thursday night, 7 p.m. Thursday night, 7 p.m. Central. Click the live button and it will let you get into the chat part, which there's always all kinds of conversation going on. And it's fun with me.
all right. Well, we think the world of you, and we look forward to having you. But this is a great half hour. Great topic.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. See you
Talk to
next time.
soon. God bless you, my friend. All right, Dr. Rita Louise here on the Awake Nation, soulhealer.com. Go there. Great articles. I mean, really fantastic stuff. And she helps a lot of people. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, it's going to be time for Dr. Lana Contos. But of course,